Hey everyone, my name is Kira, and I want to talk today about something called splitting, which, if you have done any research on BPD, whether it's because you struggle with BPD or you love someone who struggles with BPD, then you probably know this term. But we're going to talk about that today. This is going to be a little series about splitting because I think splitting is most commonly thought of as something that happens in relationships with other people, as in the person who has BPD, struggles with BPD, splits on someone that they love or are in relationship with in some capacity. But splitting also happens for ourselves. Like, we can split on ourselves. And I also think that it can happen about our outlook on life as a whole, as in we might split about our job or the day that we're having or our path in life or the place that we live. Because what it really is a person who struggles with BPD struggles to have a stable and grounded sense of their life and their world. And that includes everything that I just mentioned: themselves, their relationships, their life. And we're very vulnerable when we have BPD. It can feel a lot of the times as if we're only as good as the last good thing that happened. And so splitting, I'm going to talk about more about this, but it's basically like something really small or insignificant can happen. It can also be something larger, but it can just totally topple in an instance how we feel about something. So the first kind of aspect or realm of splitting that I'm going to talk about is splitting in relationships with other people, because again, I think most people might have a context for this already. So let's say that you have finally made a friend and you have maybe felt rejected in friendships a lot in the past. Like, the other people didn't like you as much as you liked them, or they didn't reciprocate your effort in inviting you to things. And so you're really excited about this new friendship that you have with a person. It's seeming really promising. And then they cancel plans on you. And something in the tone of their text message makes it seem like they're maybe upset with you or they're pulling away. Like, it isn't, "Hey, I'm feeling really sick. Let's reschedule for next week. I can't wait to see you," with the amount of emojis that you guys normally use in texting. My friends and I have laughed about that because both of us were very, like, attuned to how many emojis are in a message. And we're like, "Oh my God, is she mad at me if there's not a lot?" But you this happens, and you go from feeling really positive about this friendship to all of a sudden wondering, "Does this person like me? Do they not wanna be friends with me anymore? Did I do something?" And then this is what happens for someone with BPD, where maybe for other people it can stop. A person with BPD connects this instance with this person, and they tie that excuse me, I'm not used to holding a mic, this is my first time. They tie this instance to this whole kind of paradigm fortress, like mental fortress that they already have going, which is, no one ever likes me. I am always, abandoned by people. I'm nobody's best friend. I'm never gonna have people in my life who care about me. Why am I even here? The whole point of life is to have, you know, like, meaningful relationships and connection. It's like a basic human need. And if I'm never gonna have any friends, then what am I doing here? And it happens so fast, like in a matter of seconds. And so we can go from feeling like really optimistic about a relationship, really connected to a person, to all of a sudden feeling so doubtful and uncertain and hopeless. And again, this can happen in a lot of other areas of our lives, but in relationships with people, splitting is a defense mechanism. It is a way to prevent ourselves from being hurt by someone that we're now worried is no longer safe for us or no longer, um, a trustworthy person. And to a person who doesn't have BPD hearing this example, they might think like, "That's so dramatic," or that's really making a lot of assumptions, um, or it's not giving this other person any grace. And all of those things are true. So, splitting for someone with BPD, we can go from really idealizing a person, like just thinking so highly of them. They're the best friend ever. This is the best relationship ever. This is the best boss ever or therapist ever, etc. Um, and then something happens, and all of a sudden we are angry at them or afraid of them or upset with them or judging them. And it's a defense mechanism because it's like if this person who we thought so highly of can do this, what else can they do? It's like all of a sudden fear and doubt is introduced into a relationship that felt so safe and so wonderful before. And when there's a break in the safety, it totally overwhelms our system. So I think that this can be a really painful and confusing thing on both sides. Like, I'll first talk about for the person with BPD. So, part of what's going on is that people embody and represent safety. And whether or not you have BPD, this is just a truth if you're a human being. We are a tribal species and we need each other, and we are extremely impacted by how our close our close loved ones treat us in childhood, in adolescence, in adulthood. And for people with BPD, because we've experienced the world as feeling unsafe or unwelcoming or feeling unwanted at points in our life, we're so focused on our interpersonal relationships. So people embody and represent safety, and how people treat us equals our worth, and how people treat us also equals our safety. If people treat us poorly, we don't feel we have much worth. And if people treat us poorly, we also don't feel that we can count on the world being a safe place. We don't feel that there's a lot of safety. These are things that, again, all human beings are focused on and care about our worth and our safety. But for people with BPD, these are ongoing crises. Like these are always kind of in question, and we're often feeling unstable in our worth and our safety. And so when there is some sort of signal that we're not worth much and that the world isn't safe, we totally go into overdrive. And so what happens is we go from feeling this hope that something was safe and that we were worth something to now feeling all of this disappointment and almost grief that what we were so wanting to believe is not actually true. It feels like this is just, an example to maybe try and um, explain like the dagger feeling of it. Like if you were in love with someone and felt like so hopeful about the relationship, and almost then the relationship with this person became proof to you that love was real. And then you find out that they lied to you or cheated on you or did something, horribly, horribly painful. It's not just this feeling of, wow, I feel the pain that of this betrayal. It's like, what does this mean about love? Now I feel like love isn't real. That's what that's what happens when splitting occurs. It's not just this pain of that specific interpersonal conflict or moment. It's the pain of what we're now concluding and assuming about ourselves and the world as a whole. And that's why it's so painful. And the spiral can come on really fast for people with BPD because our thoughts register as feelings. The thought that love isn't real or the world isn't safe, that floods our whole body. So it's not just, oh, I'm having this passing thought and this feels really sad right now, but okay. It's like, it literally feels like so threatening and scary. Like it feels like everything's on fire because if you can imagine a thought feeling real in every centimeter of your body, that is what it feels like. So a lot of people with BPD struggle with feeling suicidal, and I think this can be what happens before a person goes to that place, because if you were at one point in time feeling hopeful about the people in your life and the direction of your life, And then all of a sudden you feel hurt and you feel so hopeless. And then you're also um, connecting it with this logic string of, okay, well, this person hurt me. I'm always going to be hurt. I'm not worth, being cared for. I'm always going to be alone. It's like if those are all true and they feel true, it can feel like, why am I here? Like, what is the point of this? What is the point of like being alive if all of these horrible things are true? So for the person who loves someone with BPD, who is maybe on the receiving end of this splitting, it is also really painful because if you love someone who can, in a moment, almost lose touch with the whole history of your relationship and all of the good faith that you have built together, that can be so painful to feel in a moment like, wow, like, do you even see me right now? Do you see the love and the care that I have for you? Like, where did all of this go? And to feel, the impact and the intensity of someone's emotions that are about more than just that conflict that you had or that disagreement that you had. You're feeling a person's grief about not being safe in the world, about love not being real, about other people not being trustworthy, about them, this person that you love not mattering. And so you are sort of on the receiving end or being witness to a person's grief of like a huge magnitude. And it can feel so painful to feel that you are responsible for all of that pain because what the person is feeling is a huge amount of pain. It's not just the conflict that you've had with them previously. It's like they're feeling like the grief and pain of their whole life. So if you love someone and you're feeling the depth of pain that they're in because of a text message you sent them that was worded in a way that felt dismissive, or you weren't home when you said that you were going to be home, you were a little bit late, or you had to cancel a plan and now they feel like they're questioning your whole friendship and you're like, "What are you talking about? Like, I love you. We've been friends for so long. Like, where is this coming from? Like, I don't understand." It can be really painful and confusing when there's this disconnect between you're talking about the moment that just happened and this other person is feeling the grief of a lifetime. And they're trying to explain how the grief of a lifetime fits into that moment. And in their effort to do so, they may blame you a lot. They're trying to make a case for being able to fit their grief into this moment. So they're going to have to put a lot of blame on you and judge you a lot to be able to explain why they're feeling so much grief about something so small. And so the person on the receiving end can feel, you know, sad, hurt, also betrayed. Like, wow, I thought we had, more trust between us. And where is this coming from? They can feel angry. They can feel defensive. Like, all I did was I was 20 minutes late. Like, there was traffic. I had to pick up eggs from the store. Like, they're defending themselves because they're like, how am I supposed to, be responsible for this huge injustice that you feel like I didn't do something to deserve this. And there's just this huge disconnect between what the person is feeling and what the person who is in relationship with them feels that they have done. The best advice I could give is two things. One, it is to notice what splitting feels like in your body. People are always like, awareness is the first step, but honest to God, like, it truly is, like, to notice what are the signals that you're not centered within yourself. So let's go back to an earlier example. Let's say this friend cancels plans, and you might notice in your body this flooded sensation of all of a sudden, it's like a switch has gone off and now you are just, like, upset with that person, you feel really down on yourself, and I'll name one of the biggest tells for myself is urgency. Like, when I feel a sense of urgency, like, I absolutely have to do this now, I have to figure this out, I have to, like, go move to a different city because I can't deal with this, or I have to just leave everything that I know. I have to run to this other person and find safety in this other friendship because I don't feel safe here. Like, when I feel a sense of urgency, that is a sign to me, okay, I'm not at center within myself. So, you might notice something similar in your own system, your own nervous system, and that can become a sign to you that you are in a split headspace, a split mindset or perspective. So you can start to notice, what are the signs that I'm in a split headspace with someone? It feels like all or nothing. It feels overwhelming. You feel terrified. You feel so angry. And like sometimes there's like a little part of you that knows that you're like overreacting and knows like, oh my God, this is like really not that big a deal. But like you just feel so upset about it. So just start to track what it feels like. And it can actually just become an a signal for yourself to just pause. Like, when you're noticing that you're in that headspace, instead of lashing out at the person or completely pulling away from them, or, like, I was not a big, like, lasher outer, I would just, like, kind of withdrawing or totally beating yourself up, like, going into a shame spiral. Like, noticing instead, like, "Okay, I'm feeling really, really overwhelmed. I'm feeling really, really angry. Like, this is a signal that I just need to, like, take some time. Maybe I need to go talk to someone that I trust about this to just, you know, again, I'm a big verbal processor, so I'm, like, saying things that are helpful for me. Um, Maybe you need to go on a walk. Maybe you need to, distract yourself, like watch a comfort show. Just give yourself some space because that sign is kind of like a flare up. It's kind of like, okay, this is how I feel in this moment right now. But honestly, sometimes with splitting, like you just need a little bit of time. Like sometimes I've had that happen and literally like the next day I'm like, oh, okay, like I feel okay about it now. But I think it's also important to not dismiss how you feel. Is this a person who has maybe been inconsistent with you and hurt you in the past? Like, I'm not trying to say that you can't trust how you feel. I'm just saying give yourself a moment. If you can tell that you are activated and you are coming from a place that is not at center within yourself, like your true self, um, give yourself a moment to get back there. And when I say true self, I'm not trying to imply that you're not you when you're upset or activated. I'm just talking about like the clear, grounded, intuitively wise place within you that knows what to do and what to say and how to be and what you need. I'm talking about coming from that place. So, what was I saying? Okay, yes, you can think about this relationship with the person holistically if you want to. And holistically meaning, if they have demonstrated to you that you can trust them, if they have shown up consistently and with care in your life and you have done the same for them, like if you have built a trusting relationship, then you can have a lot more understanding when there's a slip up by knowing you've made slip ups too. So that's something I do too, is like remind myself, okay, human error, it happens. And the third thing I would say is I feel like struggling with BPD, it felt like a lot of my, um, beliefs, perspectives about the world were decided by other people. Like, if other people were good, then I would believe that the world was good. If other people showed me care, then I would believe that I was worthy of care. And I think that that is a theme for people with BPD, that we can feel very vulnerable to the events of our lives, um, and the highs and lows of our relationships or our successes. And I think a big part of learning how to live with this and heal from this is having sovereignty and ownership and autonomy and being able to create how we feel about ourselves in the world. And that's not always perfect. It's not like we're never going to feel doubt or feel shaky in how we think and believe. But instead of like, a person doing something that's hurtful and then feeling like, wow, this makes me doubt the entire, like, the entire like all of the decency in the world. This makes me feel like people aren't safe and the world isn't safe and I don't deserve love. Like not letting someone else's actions decide that for you. Like you being rooted in those beliefs and them coming from you and your faith and not choices that other people make. And that takes a long time. I don't mean that to sound like that's an easy thing because it's natural to develop our beliefs about the world and people based on what happens with the world and people. That's a totally reasonable thing. And I think that it's a really big step and foundational piece is that a person who struggles with BPD having that sense of self-direction. Like someone treating me poorly is not going to make me doubt my worth as a human being. I'm going to be able to maybe I'll be activated in the moment, maybe there will be a flare up, but I'll be able to kind of return to my own baseline more quickly and know, like, that happened and that's an isolated incident. I don't have to attach it to this whole story. I don't have to put it on that string of logic that's gonna have me feeling so hopeless and upset. I hope this video was helpful. If this was helpful for you, I would so appreciate it if you would share it with someone that you think might also benefit from hearing it. If you are interested in learning more about my work, I will share my info below. I work with teenagers and young adults. I work individually and I also offer support groups. You can find all of that below. And please subscribe for my next video. Thank you so much for being here and have a great day.